Good morning from Shalom Acres. Today we're going to be, as we talked, or you probably saw, at least some of you, on our raspberries pruning. It's actually time to get all of our fruit trees pruned back, and unfortunately I took a lot of wood off these trees last year, but here's an apple tree in front, and then over here is a persimmon, and these are some elderberries, which I'm probably not going to take anything off of those. And then here's a small little Arkansas black that's just in its first year. And we'll talk about this tree first. So I'm not an expert by any means as far as pruning. I've read a lot of books, watched other people on YouTube, and then what kind of set it off for me was I had someone come down here that actually is really good at this. He described to me what I'm looking for, and I'm going to try to paint you a picture of the same thing he painted me. So if nothing else, it gave me the confidence to want to go ahead and take some more off the trees than what I did last year. Even though last year I took, I think, a full wheelbarrow off. So on this little tree here, on an apple tree, because that's what this is, what I'm trying to look for is, we've got several nice little ones coming out here. And those need to be, so I need to take these this year and actually stretch these and pull these back, because the trees themselves need some air. So I'll get this on a video later, but I'm actually going to stake, I'm going to put a piece of wood down in between here and start pushing these branches further away, so that way there's a center. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wait till this one grows up a little taller this spring, till it gets about 3 foot, and then I'm going to nip it. So then that way it will allow several other branches to grow. And the reason why he told me to do that was, he says you got to have them open in the middle. He says otherwise the trees all want to, just kind of come together. He says by opening them up, that allows your air's flow, and then it also allows your circulation. And the reason why you're on an apple tree specifically, you're only looking for 3 to 4 branches is, he says you start getting a lot more than that, you start decreasing your airflow. But he says you can do that at multiple rungs, so you can get three or 4 here, then you cut it here, you get 3 or 4 more, and you can do that up for several pieces as far as height. Just depends if you have a dwarf or a semi-dwarf, or just the height that what you're wanting. So if you stay with us today, we're going to start on an apple tree, and then after that I'm going to just do one peach tree, and then I've got quite a few other trees to do, but those are the 2 that I'm going to show today. So thanks for staying with us. Shalom. Okay, so here's our apple tree we're going to start with. This is going to be, starting this spring, this will be the 4th growing season for this tree. It's getting a little bit out of control, definitely really brought in, and what I'm seeing here is on this lower rung, there's actually six branches. And then I do have a nice main trunk that comes up. There's a good probably 3 feet, and then there's 3 branches, which is really nice. Comes up a little higher, and then it splits out only about 1 foot though, and then there's a couple more branches, and then you've got your top where we could probably split that out. So when I'm done, there's going to be a lot less wood on this tree, and there's going to be a lot less or a lot more open space. So we're just going to go ahead and take the video or the camera and just set it up, and I'll cut this, and then when we're done we'll see what the tree looks like. Okay, so we're done. This is the tree when we're done. So what I want to show is down here, I ended up keeping 5 of them actually on the lower branches. Still have a little bit of pruning to do as far as a couple. I might probably take out this branch right here. But overall, I left 5 because it just seemed like there was still enough airflow and how things were going to move. So I ended up leaving 5. And if you go up here, in this particular area, there's 3. And then I cut out this where it was only about a foot up. And then I went up top here, and then I split it off the top so that way it would break out, and there's already 2 branches there. So hoping that'll have another fork that'll come out, and then that's going to be the height in which we keep the apple tree. And you can look and see, I mean, there's a lot of wood down here on the ground. So I'm expecting in the springtime, because you know we took off all this wood, and I'm sure there's just as many roots that was down there, that it's gonna hopefully bloom out and get some real nice leaves on it, and hopefully this year we'll have an opportunity to get a lot of fruit on it. So now we're going to go ahead and go over to a pear tree that's overgrown. So here's our pear tree. Sorry about the sun, it's kind of the way it comes up in the morning. Can't do much about that, but what we've got here is most peach trees. I'm sorry, this is a peach tree. Most peach trees that I've ever seen in the orchards or anything like that, you know, they're cut off low. And they usually fork out, and they have 3 or 4 branches that go low. Well, you can see I've just got one branch that comes out on this tree. Then it comes up here, and then it kind of has the 3 fork, and then it comes up, there's another fork, and you know, finally when it gets to the top, that's kind of where our 3 branches are. But I don't want the tree to be that tall, or you know, that height, because then I'd be over, basically it's 5 foot picking the fruit. So we're trying to look at how we can do this a little bit differently. And I don't know if I have the exact answer, but I'm counting on just starting to cut and seeing what happens when we're done. So I'll set this up on the tripod and see what we get. Okay, again, that sun's kind of there. Let's see here. So what we did was came up and took the whole center out. Took that out, and that basically has allowed us to have one branch coming off this side, which kind of leans a little bit this way. We've got one branch that forks out that way, and now I've got one other branch that's out here. Ideally, if this branch here would have been a little bit bigger, I would have probably just taken off this whole other branch. Just didn't feel comfortable this year doing that. But that's going to get us into a lot of open space in the middle, great airflow, and should be set up really well for this year. I may end up taking off a few more of these little ones right in here, but overall that's the major pruning that we're going to do on this peach tree. So again, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not an expert, read a lot of books, and until I had someone come here and actually describe it to me, you know, it kind of clicked in my mind. So hopefully this video, if nothing else, like I said earlier, gives you the confidence to go out there and make a difference. You know, maybe it'll clicks in your mind as far as when we talk about having 3 different areas or 4 different areas, then go up 3 feet and just look at it and just make the difference, because I know the Father wants us to have the confidence, and He wants us to be productive in everything that we do. So this is another area that trying to gain some skills in, some knowledge, and just counting on the Father and fellow brothers and sisters for bleeding. Okay, if you remember at the very beginning of the video, we talked about an Arkansas black apple, and these branches were, you know, in real tight. So what we did is now we just went ahead and, you know, I don't have too much tension on it, but I've probably pulled them apart 8, yeah, maybe 12 inches as far as, you know, spread it out about 12 inches. And I should just have to keep this on for 1 season, and by next year it should retain that same part of stretch, and then I'll be good. And then I'll have to see if I need to, you know, pull this branch a different direction. And then hopefully this branch here will just continue to grow up, and then we'll be able to cut the top off and give ourselves the opportunity for that kind of pattern, 3 or 4 branches every 3 to 4 feet. So hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate your comments on things that you're doing around your homestead, specifically you know, on pruning your trees, whether it's grapevines or anything like that. I'd just love to learn from you. Thank you so much for sharing, and hope you have a wonderful day. Shalom.